What's up, everybody? Today's video, we're talking about Sam Sulek. I don't normally talk about him. I do follow him casually, but I wanted to make this video because I want to give the kid credit. Kid, he's 23 years old. That's a kid to me at age 55. In case you guys thought I was going to rip him apart and be that jealous old hater. No, I'm not doing that. I want to give this kid credit because he does not need to compete. He never needed to compete ever to maintain his popularity, his following. Sam has 3.94 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, almost 4 million, 2.6 million subscribers, followers on his TikTok, 6.2 million on his Instagram. You know, people just love his videos, love his attitude, his passion for lifting, just the joy for life that he seems to have, and that he's a humble kid. He doesn't brag or boast or come across that way. So let's take a look at what he's looking like, because he actually got in pretty good shape. This was a couple weeks back, I believe. Most of these posing videos are fairly similar. So we're going to see the legs eventually. Most of the videos are of his upper body, which led me to believe that he had no legs. So upper body looks really good. I'd like to see more triceps to balance out those big bulging biceps. And the waist is a little on the wide side. It's not a real thick, wide waist. It's not ideal. You know what? The kid looks damn good. Can he turn pro? Possibly. You know, who knows? He's competing this Saturday in Las Vegas at the Legends Classic. I don't expect a huge turnout in bodybuilding. I don't know overall how many people are going to show up. Who knows? A lot of his physique issues are really just posing. Like if he has a pretty thick chest, he does not hit that side tricep correctly to showcase the chest. Back shots. Again, this was a couple weeks ago. We're going to look at other videos that are just taken a few days ago where he's definitely even leaner. Back's pretty good in the rear lat spread. Again, we don't see a massive V taper because he doesn't have, and that's kind of a weak shot only because he's crunching his shoulder blades together. He's not spreading it out. I saw in another video that we're going to take a look at, when he spreads the rear double bicep out, it looks a lot better. Crunch it together, it makes him look a little more narrow. And he loves this twisting back double bicep shot, which is the Arnold pose, the iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger pose, a very difficult pose to hit, I might add. Probably the hardest. Okay, so I think that was it. No, he's going to hit a most muscular, sorry. So I wouldn't do that one, Sam, for your most muscular choice. His crab looks a lot better. His crab most muscular. Because in the NPC, they give you the option. They say your favorite most muscular. And some people do look better in that one with the hands clasped, like Kevin Leveroni always did. A few other guys that come to mind. But most people do look better in the crab. Sam's got a really good crab. That's why I use it for the thumbnail. So this was 4 days out from the show. He's spending the week in Las Vegas because he's from Ohio. You see from the back, yeah, he's not that wide. I mean, I'm judging him by elite genetics, people at the very, very top of competitive bodybuilding who are, you know, probably the 1% of the 1% genetically. Sam's got really good genetics for a regular human being. I mean, he dwarfs most people. I think he was, the back could be thicker. The back could be thicker. And the arms don't look great in that pose. And again, once he fills out his triceps a little more, I think his arms will look better in the front and rear double biceps because they don't look bad in the side tri or the side chest. And here he goes again. He loves that. He loves that pose. Okay, so that was 4 days out. This was the day before. This was at the Dragon's Lair, Flex Lewis's gym. So we got some different lighting. It's going to be mostly the same poses, guys. Mostly the same poses. But condition-wise, you know, the biggest mistake most people make with their first show is they don't get lean enough. And Sam has done that. He's definitely dieted down to proper contest condition. You know, I haven't seen how the glutes and hams are looking at this point, but from what I can see, what I can tell, his body fat is very, very low. He did what he needed to do. I know I saw that he was doing 4 30-minute sessions of cardio a day. So 2 hours of cardio a day, which is extreme. But you probably saw that video that he did training with Jay Cutler about 8 weeks ago or 10 weeks ago, where Jay told him he needed to step it up. This condition was not impressive in the least, you know, because Jay has very, very high standards. He's a 4-time Mr. Olympia. So he's going to give it to you straight. If you're not looking amazing, he'll tell you. And he told Sam what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear. And Sam swallowed his pride, did what he needed to do. I don't know what he's weighing right now. I remember when he was there as that crab. That's a good crab shot. Real thick, dense pecs, delts, biceps are popping, traps nice and thick. Yeah, again, the back shots, not the greatest shots for him. But you know what? At this level, look, the condition is right there, though. Condition looks awesome. At the level he's competing at, it's a regional show. It's a national qualifier. I believe his plan was, and forgive me for not watching all his content, great Christmas tree, Sam. Again, he's crunching the shoulder blades together, which makes him look narrow. He needs to spread that back out. His plan is to qualify here for Arnold Amateur, which is in Columbus, Ohio, 2 weeks from, I think it starts today on a Thursday, the judging. And he always ends up with that rear double. Now, finally, we're going to get to the legs because I was wondering, why does this guy never show his legs? Does he have chicken legs or his legs smooth as hell? So I found this. This was actually from about 3 weeks ago. So his legs might even be leaner than this right now. So he doesn't show his legs often, but let's take a look. Okay, so they're totally relaxed there. No one's legs usually look great when they're totally relaxed. Obviously, the vascularity doesn't count in the judging. We're looking for separation and striations, but nice and vascular. Again, he's pretty novice at posing, which obviously we expect. He's a novice. He's never competed before. He has a lot of people access to all the greats. So if he wanted to reach out to somebody like a Chris Cormier or whoever to help him with his posing, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people who are quite expert level posers that would be more than willing to help him, because this kid's who wouldn't want to be associated with his success, because he's already conquered social media in a huge way. 23 years old. He's making a great living, better living than there's probably only a couple bodybuilders in the world. Samson and maybe a couple others that are making the kind of money he is. Bumstead would be one, I guess. He's probably in the top 5 earners in competitive bodybuilding. Cutler would be another one, but he's right up there with them. So here he's adjusting the camera, and we're going to get a little better look at the legs now that he's found his lighting, found his posture. Condition wise, they're looking pretty damn good. Here we go. When he's going to stomp into it, there we go. Some good cross striations there. Cross striations across the quads. Great detail. I wouldn't have expected that. But yeah, size-wise, they could be a little bigger to match his upper body. They're not quite at the level size-wise of his upper body, but they're not awful. I was thinking or suspecting maybe this guy's got pretty bad legs. He never shows them. But no, that's not the case. He's got pretty darn good legs. They're just not great. I think if he wants to move up past the level he's going to be competing at now, and he wants to turn pro, he's going to need to work on his back, his triceps, his legs are going to have to come up a little bit. Condition's right there. So that's something some people never figure out his condition. He's already going to have that for his first show. Let's see what you guys got to say. Zionic, for sure, he stepped up. Good to see you around. Hopefully he gets qualified for Arnold. Yeah, Zionic, I think he just needs to place, somebody can correct me. I didn't look into it. Maybe I should have, yeah. I think he needs to place first or second in his weight class. I believe he's going to be a heavyweight bodybuilder, open heavyweight. There was talk before about him going classic, but I'm pretty sure he's well over the classic limit for his height, because he's about 5'10", I think. I want to say it's like 198 or something. He would have to be at that height. And in the amateurs, they have lighter weight caps than the pros. It might even be lighter than that. So real tiny ones. Talk about his legs. Oh, balls. His balls. Well, yeah. When you're using steroids, all of us who've used steroids, I've used plenty of steroids, and my balls got much smaller. And I don't care enough. They shrunk my penis. That'd be a problem. Don't want a shrunken penis. Don't want to lose any of that. But balls, I never really cared. I've never heard a woman, give a guy compliments on how big his balls were or how nice they were. I mean, they're not attractive. The guy looks pretty freaking good. He does. Let's put that on again. Let's put some more. Yeah, here we go. Pretty good. Just stopped 3 days out moments ago. Oh, okay. I'll check that out. Maybe I'll try to watch along with you guys. How many kcals does that burn? If you're talking about 40 minutes, well, I mean, you could do 2 hours of cardio going very, very slowly, depending on your body weight, and only burn maybe 200 calories, 300 calories with 2 hours. Or if you're really cranking, going fast and exerting yourself, 2 hours of cardio, you could burn about 1,500 calories or more, 1,500 to 2,000, somewhere in that range. If you really cranked, wouldn't advise it. It would eat up your leg mass pretty badly if you did that. But it could. Yeah. So Zionic answered him. It's relative to body weight, intensity, and duration. Yeah. I don't know what kind of cardio he does. I'm only guessing that he wasn't doing 2 hours of intense cardio a day. That'd be overkill for just about anybody. That'd be a lot of cardio. He does bike, treadmill, elliptical stairs sometimes, I believe. Yeah, I just don't know what the intensity level is, because you can use any of those. Those are just tools. It's like a weight. You could pick up a 2-pound dumbbell, or you could pick up a 200-pound dumbbell. All these cardio machines, they're as hard as you want to make them. You can go very, very intense on a bike. You could run. You could sprint on a treadmill on an incline. You'll burn a ton of calories, and you'll be pouring sweat and having trouble breathing. Elliptical, I used to crank on the elliptical and go 700 calories in 40 minutes. Stairs are very, very tough. Yeah. Sulek, balls of steel. Well, now you guys got me curious about the new YouTube video. I don't want to get demonetized, so I don't want to steal his content. I'm just curious if there's like new posing update on there. Okay, so take the volume out of there. Okay, volume's off. I'm only going to share it once I get to the posing part, because I don't care about him driving in his car, driving around, blah, blah, blah. He does keep people entertained, though. You know, I understand why he's popular. Okay, let's go to the last update. He's got a great personality. He's big, he's strong, he trains very hard. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at this, guys, with you. This will be I guess this will be his final posing update before the show. So let's take a look at how he's looking. He was looking lean enough as it was to me. I didn't really, you know, I didn't see like the glutes and the hams, see if they were all dug out and shredded, because he wasn't showing those. But okay, we got it. All right, let's take a look at his final peek at Sam's physique before he makes his competitive debut. And again, commending this young guy, for putting himself up for scrutiny, because he'll get a lot of praise, and he's also going to get ripped apart. You know, of course, anyone that successful, and especially anyone who's that successful on social media, where a lot of competitive bodybuilders who have reached a high level and don't have anywhere near that type of success, there's obviously a lot of envy and jealousy, because, you know, they don't understand. This guy's never won. He's never even stepped on stage. Looks good. Nice vacuum. He's probably flat. He's probably depleted. Probably hasn't started loading yet from the looks of it. He looks a little flat to me. So I imagine he's going to load up a little bit. So yeah, they're going to be looking head to toe, front to back, side to side, any flaw or weakness that they can point out. And, you know, we haven't seen what he looks like in posing trunks. That's a good shot right there. It's like one of the old Arnold shots. We haven't seen what he looks like in trunks with the full physique. The legs were just shown by themselves. The upper body is shown without the legs. Some physiques flow much better in trunks on stage than they do in the gym. I used to say there were gym physiques and there were stage physiques. Some people looked better in the gym and weren't that impressive on stage when they competed, and vice versa. I can vividly remember a gym I trained at in Pasadena. There's a couple of guys there that I was going to be competing against. And one in particular, this guy, Steve, I thought he would smoke me because he was shredded. He wasn't huge, but I didn't realize all the structural things, you know, narrow clavicles and things like that, until we competed. And I think I was second. I think he was fifth. But then I saw all these things that I couldn't really tell in the gym, because I never really paid attention to him posing. So Sam looks really good, man. He looks really good. I'm not gonna say I'm proud of him. He doesn't need me to be proud of him. He's doing great without me. I love his speech in the beginning of his videos. I'm cutting so it motivates me while I do cardio. Yeah, so I'm suspecting a big reason he competed was to be able to share that journey with his many millions of followers, because, you know, he can only talk about training and how motivated he is on a normal off-season, permanent off-season basis for so long. But this is a whole other topic. You know, it's when somebody's competing, especially for the first time, it's a brand new experience that they're going through. It's their first real diet. You know, he's done mini cuts before. He's done cuts before, but he's never been this lean before, because nothing puts the pressure on you to push the cardio, to eat super clean, to take the calories and the carbs down low, to be uncomfortable, to be hungry, to be tired. Nothing can really make you go through all that unless you have a competition coming up. I've dieted once in my life for photo shoots and a video shoot, and it wasn't a contest. The other times were all for contests. And I got pretty close to contest shape. But looking at the pictures, I wasn't as lean as I could have been. Whereas if I knew I was going to be on stage with other guys trying to beat me, and condition being one of the few things that you can control 100% on your own. You can't control your bone structure. That's it. You can't change that. Body parts, you can do what you can, but genetically, if some body part's weak, it's probably never going to be an awesome body part. If you don't have a pretty good back after a few years of training, and you've been training it right, you're really connecting with the muscle, hitting it from different angles, and using all the good basic compound movements, you're probably never going to have a great back. You can eventually have a good back. You understand what I'm saying? But the one thing that you can always control is your condition. It's up to you. You're the one that can cut the calories, the carbs, has to put up with being hungry, being tired, doing that cardio when you don't want to do it. And nobody really wants to do cardio when they're tired and hungry, but that's part of the game. Franco Costello, good to see you around. Busy with the new administration. Appreciate the video. Busy with the new administration. You're working for the Trump administration? Is that what you mean? Huh. Why haven't critiqued the guy? Oh, well, Mark, I mean, he's going to get critiqued because he is this huge success, and people are envious of that. And especially if some of these people would beat him in a competition. I wouldn't, but some of these people would. So they're going to look at things that they can pick apart on him. I don't know. I'll have a better opinion when I see what he looks like on stage in trunks, hitting all the mandatory poses. But even if he doesn't look as good as someone who's capable of winning the USA or nationals, which at this stage he's not, but he's still a young guy. And structurally, he doesn't have an ideal structure, but he looks damn good. He inspires millions and millions of people around the world, mostly young guys, to lift weights. I'd say to eat healthier, but up until this contest diet, I don't think he was eating that healthy. I remember seeing him eating a lot of burgers and fries and a lot of chocolate milk, drinking a lot of chocolate. He loves the chocolate milk. Now, I used to love chocolate milk as a kid, so I understand that Nestle's quick. I used to make it myself. He is going to place top 2. Oh, absolutely. I'd be actually pretty surprised if he doesn't win the overall at this show. And I say that without having any idea of who else is showing up and what they're going to look like. And you never can tell. The only way I would be 100% confident is if he looked like a top pro right now, like somebody who could place, say, top 5 at a show like the Tampa Pro or Texas Pro, or top 10 at the Olympia, the Arnold. If he looked like that now, I'd say nobody's touching this kid at this show. We don't know who else is going to show up and what they're going to look like. You never know. All you can ever do as a competitor at the amateur level, because you don't know who else is going to be there. The pros usually have a good idea of who's going to be there, especially once they get to the highest levels. The Olympia guys, the Arnold Classic guys, they pretty much know who's going to be there when they compete. Amateurs, especially at the beginning level, there's no way to know. He might just blow the whole show away. I don't think there'll be anyone. I can't foresee there being 2 guys in his class that are that great, but who knows that they will beat him? Who knows? He could be first, he could be third. It all depends on who shows up. But he's done his homework. He's put in the work. He's dieted strictly. He's done 2 hours a day of cardio for the last few weeks. That's a hell of a commitment. That's tough, guys. I mean, how many of you have ever done? I've never done 2 hours of cardio a day. I used to do, at my worst, 2 45-minute sessions a day. I used to go to the gym when I was in prep, wake up first thing in the morning. The gym was 5 minutes away from my house. I'd get on the elliptical and run my ass off with a treadmill, 45 minutes, come home, eat breakfast, train. And I would either do my second 45 minutes after that workout or come back later at night and do it. But an hour and a half cardio is a lot. 2 hours of cardio, oof, that's a commitment. Let me put them up again while we're talking. Yeah. Okay. I was saying the best great kid. So was back in February 23 before he blew up. Wow. Oh, wow, that guy. So you're one of the OG fans because, yeah, and that's crazy. 23. So he's done all that. In 2 years, he went from 12,000 subs on YouTube to almost 4 million. That is astonishing. So what a success story. And, I'm not going to blast the kid. Yeah. Do I wish I had that many subscribers? Of course I do. I wish I had this YouTube success he did, but I give him all proper credit because he makes great content. Other people try to sort of capture your attention with really crazy music and wacky edits and crazy angles with the camera, like the old MTV videos. Sam keeps it all very, very straightforward. There's not a ton of edits. There's no special effects or weird graphics flying around the screen. And he starts all his videos off basically setting them up with his car talks, his conversations in the car, which set the tone for what you're going to see in the video. And they're always a really good introduction. I've only seen a few of his videos, but I like what I saw, and I totally understand his appeal and his popularity. And, I wish him the best, whether he wins this show or not. Like, I happen to think he's going to win this show. It's still very early in the season, which means the shows aren't really packed. And even if they were, bodybuilding as a division does not have the numbers it used to, because so many of the male competitors have opted for classic physique or men's physique, which are, a little less muscle mass. They take a less time to attain those type of physiques, generally speaking, than an open bodybuilder who needs more and more muscle mass. So, yeah, I don't see a ton of guys entering that show in the bodybuilding, and I'm assuming he's going to be between 198 and a quarter and 225 and a quarter, which puts him as a heavyweight. So, yeah, I don't foresee a problem. Now, when he gets to the Arnold Classic or the Arnold Amateur in Ohio, it's going to be more difficult. That's a tough show. The Arnold Amateur, if you don't know, I've covered it. Me and Giles Thomas covered it a few times, and I've watched it, the whole judging and finals for it a few times. It's people from all over the world. So if you're a heavyweight from the USA, you might be staying next to a guy from Canada, a guy from Iraq, a guy from Colombia, a guy from Kuwait, Poland, Russia, France, on and on and on, China. It's a very, very international show. It's very similar to what the Universe, the IFBB World Amateur, which is still around, but it's with the other IFBB now. We used to call that the Mr. Universe. That was the big amateur show. For many years, that was the only way to turn pro in the IFBB. In the early years of the NPC, like when Lee Haney won the Nationals, when Rich Gaspari won the Nationals, when Lee Labrada won the Nationals, that didn't get them a pro card. They had to go overseas. It was usually in Europe, or they've had the World Amateurs all over the place. It's never been in the USA. They had to win that, and that's how they got their pro cards. So Arnold Amateur, especially now that the IFB is split into Pro League and Elite, we get a lot of the guys who would have competed in that show. We see them in the Arnold Amateur shows and the Olympia Amateur shows. So those are very, very, very competitive shows. Let's see, acne and poor diet made him go viral. I don't think they made him go viral. Yeah, the acne's bad, but you know what? I think those two things made him more relatable to a lot of the young guys who follow him, for better or worse. A lot of young guys have acne. It's hormones. It's really not much most of them can do about it. And the poor diet, yeah, you do have control over what you eat, but I think a lot of, novice lifters, young guys, they can relate more to somebody who eats more like they do with a fair amount of junk in their diet than to watch somebody who's so disciplined that all they eat is chicken breasts, broccoli, brown rice, sweet potatoes, tuna out of the can, stuff like that. That to them is like a robot. They can't really relate to somebody like that. Sam is more relatable. He's more like they are. It seemed like he was just kind of lifting for fun. He loves lifting. You could see that. Very, very passionate. And, I am as well. I'm well old enough to be his dad, but anytime I see somebody who has that kind of drive and love and passion, enthusiasm for training, I say that's one of us, because there's not many of us out there who really love training. A lot of people, even though they go to the gym, they look for excuses still, like not to go, or if they're feeling a little sniffly, they won't go, or they'll find excuses not to go. Where people like us, and a lot of you watching, you're one of us. I would say we find excuses to go to the gym even when we shouldn't. If we'll go when we're sick, or when we have a project due, or something's going on, and like people are like, you're going to the gym? Yeah, I'm going to the gym because I love the gym. To recommend his channel back then, clicked on it, saw his kid moving behind a belt. Wow, yeah, he's a strong kid. He's strong as hell. Absolutely, I've seen him move some really good weight. Hey, that's another thing that people respect, because great genetics for bodybuilding are very rare. Most of us, I say us because I didn't have great genetics for bodybuilding. I was never a great bodybuilder. I was pretty good. I wasn't great, obviously, or I wouldn't be speaking to you right now as an amateur all these years later. But they can't build those type of physiques that they see the pros. That's That's the genetic elite, the cream of the crop. But if they try hard enough, they can get stronger and stronger and move some very, very decent weights. Most people, if they persevere and they put the time and the effort in, and they eat and they get enough sleep, and then you throw gear in the mix, a lot of people can get very, very strong. So they see somebody like Sam and they respect that, because they hate to see somebody with an awesome physique who's not as strong as they are, or who's not as strong as they think they should be or expect them to be. Like if you see some guy with these monstrous quads and he's squatting 315, and you can squat 315 for the same amount of reps, like, that guy's pretty, he's training like a pussy, because I can do 315 for 12 or 15, and he's doing that. His legs are twice the size of mine. He should be doing 500-600 pounds. So that mentality carries over. But we've seen that with guys like Ronnie Coleman, Branch Warren, Johnny Jackson. I would say James Hollingshead is a modern day example of someone who is as strong as he looks and gets a lot of due respect for that, because it's hard to move those weights. It's not easy. You really have to push the boundaries, and you're taking a risk every time you get under a squat bar with 500, 600, 700 pounds. Something could happen anytime you're bench pressing. I wouldn't bench press heavy. Anytime you see somebody bench pressing 400 or 500 pounds, they could tear a pec. So they're taking that chance. Put Sam up again. Yeah, put that one up. Yeah, we'll put this one up. A couple more comments. Never shows flamingo legs. He did, Vinny. He did. Let me show you. They're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. Here's his legs. Okay, right there, they don't look great because they're fully relaxed. Once he starts posing them, they're not skinny at all. They're not massive. They need to be bigger to match his upper body. His upper-lower body balance is not quite there. His legs need to fill out a little bit more. But they're not bad. I thought they were going to be a lot worse than this. The side, could use a little bit more hams for sure, but they're looking pretty good. Got good calves. And the quads are really striated, deep, separated. So I give him a lot of credit, because, again, I haven't seen his legs because I don't follow him that closely. I'm sure he's shown them before, but this is the first time I think he's ever shown them in this kind of condition. And when he turns around, you'll see the condition's pretty damn great. Yeah, I'd like to see a little more separation between the hamstring heads, the biceps femoris, the semimembranosus, tendinosus, all that good stuff. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all, especially, first show, 23 years old. I didn't expect his legs to be this good. I'm not blown away by them, no, but they're a lot better than I thought they were. I'm just waiting for him to hit that stomp, because that was the best. That was the most impressive thing right here. He's going to hit the quad stomp. Look at all that. Look at those striations. That's legit right there. That's legit. So, yeah. Will the show be live streamed? No, they're not going to live stream that show. But I promise you, I guarantee you, if you're on Instagram on Saturday, I bet a lot of people in the audience will be live streaming him from their seats. They're probably not supposed to be. NPC does not like NPC do not want people live streaming, because they typically either have a pay-per-view or they have an official videographer and they want you to purchase the footage from them. But you're going to be seeing plenty of videos, I bet. Typically the live streams are for bigger shows. If it's an amateur show is going to be live streamed, it's typically only something like the Nationals or the USA. And even then, they don't always have live stream. All the pro shows don't even have live streams. Most of them do. But you're going to be seeing plenty of footage. And of course, Sam's going to have, I assume he's got permission to have his own videographer there. He's going to get some really high quality 4K, 5K, 100K footage, whatever they got, whatever the best resolution is these days. I lose track. I think 4K is already like obsolete, right? Now I'm sure they have something better now. So you'll be seeing plenty of footage. And I'm really curious. I will be critical when I look at it, because when I see any physique on a stage, I'm automatically critical, whether it's an amateur show, whether it's a pro show, because I've been to thousands of shows over the years. I've competed myself in 30. I've judged shows. So I look at physiques with a very critical eye, and it's nothing personal. And to be honest, when I give critiques, I'm hoping to see improvements in the things that they can improve on. So if I say somebody's back needs a lot of work, I hope they hear that, and instead of going, oh, fuck that Ron, he's a hater. I hope they say, they look at it objectively like, yeah, my back's not that great. My front's great, my chest and this and that. But when I turn around, my back's pretty weak. Those people that take it to heart and they go to work in the gym and they come back with a better back, they'll move up the ranks. Because if you have any lagging, weaker area, the judges are going to focus on that, because judging is hard, guys. Judging is one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. I never went for my, to become an official judge for the NPC and move up. My friend Jose Raymond does. He judges all the local shows for the NPC. I'm sure he could be a pro judge if he wanted to. Maybe he will do that eventually, but it's hard, man. It's hard because, everybody there works so hard to get to that stage. They trained so hard for years. They dieted, they did the cardio, they suffered, they sacrificed. And you wanted, as a judge, I can say this, I judged about 5 or 6 shows. I know it's not a ton, but you feel obligated to be as fair and impartial as you can and give everybody the placing that they rightfully deserve. And it gets tough because you might have a class of 15 guys, and maybe the first 2 or 3, the top few guys, they stand out pretty quickly. Like, okay, that guy's probably going to win. And let me look, this guy's pretty close to him. Once you start moving down to what we call like the second and third call out guys, it gets harder and harder because they have different flaws. Like one of them might have a weak chest and smooth legs, and the other one might have a great chest and shredded legs, but no back or no calves or something like that. So it becomes this game in your head of trying to decide, who's got the best overall package, because they all have flaws, and you have to decide which flaws are worse than other flaws. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. Sam's and legs. Well, Double M, his biceps are actually pretty good. Let's take a look at his biceps again. This is the arm day. Yeah, his biceps are really good. His triceps, they don't look bad in the side tricep shot. In the front double and the rear double, you see they don't have a lot of hang. You'll see. He's going to hit it. Yeah. So biceps pop up. So biceps are supposed to be 1/3 of the upper arm, and the triceps are supposed to be 2/3. That's the ratio, the ideal ratio. Triceps should be twice as voluminous, take up twice as much mass or volume on the upper arm as the biceps. They're about the same. His biceps and triceps are about the same size. So his bis don't need to be that much bigger. His triceps do need to be bigger to balance out the arms, give him a really round look. See right there, like the triceps, the back of it is flat. They're not small triceps. I mean, I have shit triceps. But what you want to see is real round, full triceps. A lot of that is genetic, but I'm confident that Sam is young enough that he can improve those. He definitely has room to grow. I assume he has room to grow. I mean, he's already been on gear for a few years, but he's still such a young guy. I think he's got a couple more years of growing left in him. I suspect he could probably add another, I'm just going to give a rough estimate. Between 10 and 20 pounds, yeah, that back needs to be thicker. Between 10 and 20 pounds, I think he still has of lean muscle tissue, which is significant. That's a lot of muscle. If I say 20 pounds of muscle, 20 pounds of muscle is a lot of muscle mass. Think about 20 pounds of steak on a table in front of you. How much steak is that? Imagine all that distributed over your body, your frame. It's a lot. So, yeah. Politics, he's already won. I mean, there's going to be so much attention on this contest. It'll definitely be the regional show of the year that gets the most attention and publicity simply because he's in it. Just like the Prague show last year, the EVLS Prague Pro show, it always gets some decent coverage. But when Chris Bumstead jumped into it, good Lord, I bet their pay-per-views for that show were close to what the Olympia got. I bet they were. And certainly everybody was on checking social media all day. How's Bumstead looking? Actually, it was a 2-day show. And the fact that Sam is in this show, the NPC Legends Classic this weekend, this Saturday in Las Vegas, a lot more attention than it would have normally gotten. I'm sure it's a fine show. Muscle Contest puts on a ton of shows. But the fact that this sensation, this hugely popular young man is in the show, it definitely means it's going to get a lot more eyes on it than it would have been. I don't think the judges would give him the win if he doesn't deserve it. I don't think they will. And more so because if somebody is clearly a better bodybuilder than him, clearly has superior balance, proportion, size. I mean, he's a big kid, but there are bigger people out there. Let's be real. If somebody's a better bodybuilder than him and rightfully fair and square is beating him, the judges are going to give it to that guy. And Sam will get second or third or whatever he rightfully deserves. Because, again, there's all that attention on the judging. And a lot of people would be very upset to see Sam Sulek win a show that he shouldn't win just because he's Sam Sulek. It's happened with other social media guys before. Is that Shizzy guy or something? I don't know. It happened with someone a few months ago, and I remember there was a big uproar about it. But yeah, I don't think the judges are going to pay him any special favors just because of who he is. And again, I'm going to wrap this up, but I commend Sam Sulek because he did not need to do this show. He never needed to compete. He's got all the money he needs. I don't know if he's set for life, but he's doing very, very well for a 23-year-old guy. He's one of the most successful people in the fitness world already. As far as bodybuilders, there's probably a handful that are doing as well as him financially and with the amount of popularity and followers that he has. So he's putting it all on the line. He's getting up there knowing he's going to be picked apart by a lot of people. A lot of people love him, and there's a lot of people that hate him mainly because he's successful, and they hate to see someone that young, especially someone who hasn't won any pro titles or anything. If you're a pro and you've won maybe 6, 8, 10 pro shows, and you only have a fraction of the money that Sam has and a fraction of the following, I could see where you might be a little bitter, a little cynical, a little bitter and salty would be better, more apt terms for it. Yeah. Chest. He's got a really thick chest. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so I will make a video early next week. I want to analyze the physique, and I'll be very blunt, and it's not going to be for the purpose of ripping him apart, like, see how bad he sucks. I'll just give an honest critique. And, whether Sam turns out to be someone with a very bright future ahead of him in competitive bodybuilding or not, doesn't really matter, but I will let you know what I think. Like I said, it doesn't matter whether he ever turns pro, whether he has the right genetics to turn pro and all that stuff, because he is a success story. This is a modern age. We have to get with the times. There are a lot more different ways now. The past, many decades ago, you had to be a great bodybuilder and win all the top titles, and that's how you got in the magazines, which we don't even have anymore. That's how you got the contracts. And now you can take control of your own popularity and your own finances the way someone like Sam has. Sam has made his own career. He's made his own content, his own social media platforms, where he's wildly successful. Did it without needing anyone else to offer it to him, or he didn't have to suck up to anyone or kiss anyone's ass. So, you know what? He's a self-made millionaire. God bless this kid. Let's see. Love all your content. Thank you. Amazing knowledge, passion. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Clout Vid. All right. So that's it, guys. So I will talk to you in a few days. I'm going to wish him good luck. Good luck, Sam. Looking forward to see what you look like on stage. You're in awesome condition. I do expect a win, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see who shows up, what they look like. Meanwhile, he's done a great job getting prepared for the show, shared the whole journey and process with his fans so they could see what it's like, live vicariously through him, because a lot of them are never going to compete themselves. But now they know exactly what it's like because Sam is very transparent, open, and shares all his feelings as he's gone through this. So that's it, guys. I'll talk to you all later. Have an awesome weekend.